I am Frank Vedvik, a Senior Product Specialist at Pixotope. Let's look at some of my most commonly used tools for identifying and resolving performance issues in a pretty typical Unreal environment. The first thing we'll want to do is bring up the Pixotope Utilities window, which can be found here. Next, we'll go ahead and bring up our unit graph so we can monitor performance by seeing the different render threads over here, as well as a performance graph down in the corner. Please note that the draw thread will not display correctly for as long as we have any overlaying windows or any corner tooltip toasts currently on screen. Right off the bat, we can see that our draw thread is our current biggest source of concern, sitting far above our target of 16 milliseconds. Even without the complexity of lighting, it is still clocking in far too high. In a scene that is as geometry-rich and organic as this, we absolutely want to ensure that all of our meshes are used in Nanite, and we can check that from the Nanite visualization buffer found here. Looking at this, it becomes immediately obvious that most of our geometries are actually not using Nanite at all. Now, this can be easily fixed by going to the content browser, finding all of the meshes used in this particular scene, and then forcing Nanite to be enabled from the right-click menu. By doing this, saving our assets and going back to unlit, we can see that our performance has jumped from 15 milliseconds to 5 milliseconds for the draw thread, which is a huge step up. Next, we want to take a look at our GPU time using the Profile GPU tool. This tool gives us a detailed snapshot of the rendering of a single frame on the GPU, with these blocks representing different passes and how long they took to complete. Now we can see here that our shadow depths pass, as well as our render deferred lighting pass, is what consumed over half of our allotted frame budget, and this therefore tells us that we might need to optimize our lighting further in order to shave these down. Knowing that lights might be our issue, we can take a look at another handy utility, the Light Complexity View, which can be found here underneath Optimization View Modes. Now this shows us that we have a staggering amount of light overlap, which is all the white we see on the screen, which is another common red flag. By using a process of combining nearby lights into a single stronger light, as well as disabling shadows and light sources that do not need them, we can quickly simplify our light setup and end up with a similar looking result that performs far better. We can run the GPU profiling one more time and see that our time spent on shadows and lights is now far more palatable. Now, the last tool I want to make sure you know about is the statistics window. This tool can be found here underneath Audit and shows you a lot of handy information about the scene that is currently loaded. I primarily use this to tell us which actors we are using most often. Here we can see the exact instances of each of these actors in the scene, as well as their individual and total triangle contribution. These were some simple ways you can audit your scenes, and hopefully they serve to get your content on air all the more easily.